Boom! What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, I have my last beer that was sent over to me by Mr. Grinchy Clouds, and today we got the Pachanga Mexican-style lager from Sun King Brewery over in Indiana. They have a couple locations over in Indiana, I believe. I know they have one connected to the Indianapolis airport, but today we got the last one is their Mexican style lager, which of course lagers are pretty simple. They're very malt forward and all that kind of stuff. But this, what makes it more of like a Mexican lager, of course, the similarity between a Mexican lager and a Vienna lager are pretty similar. They're lighter. They definitely have a more of a clear kind of complexion to them, but they're definitely more of like the maltier forward kind of lager, not like your normal American lager that like a Busch, Anheuser, or Pabst Blue Ribbon, all that kind of stuff. This is definitely I want to say hopefully it's a craft beer version of like your normal Americanized style cheap beer. So today, this guy comes in at, what is the percentage? I think it was like 4.2% ABV. So pretty light, pretty damn light, which is nice because I'm going to get a haircut after this because it's well needed. Because holy crap, my hair is out of control, and I'm ready for a haircut. But yeah, it's simple looking. I enjoy a lager from time to time. They're lighter, they're crisp. I like that malt forward kind of flavor, of course, and it's the stuff that I've had from Sun King have been pretty solid so far. I know they're more of like an Americanized style of brewery when it comes to just being a little bit more available, not really going too crazy when it comes to variety. They do a lot of simpler stuff, even though they do variants of specific beers, like they do with Play. They have plenty of different variants of this style of Mexican lager out there, but this is their year-round stuff is like stuff you would expect to see at like your normal grocery store and stuff like that. So I'm still pretty damn excited to give this guy a try. I'm expecting some really nice malt-forward flavors, maybe a little bit of sweetness coming through. And of course, using lager yeast, you're going to get that token like lager flavor that I don't want to say it's going to be the same you would get out of like a Busch Light or something like that, but I'm expecting some maybe some similar notes to that. Hopefully, it's better than that kind of cheap like stuff that I usually don't like drinking, but we're gonna see what it's all about. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this guy. Don't want to turn the tab. Let's see what we get on the nose. Yeah, malty, light. On Untapped, it's actually considering it a pale lager, which is interesting. Pale lagers are definitely a little bit hoppier, maybe have a little bit more of a bitterness, but I don't think it's really going to have bitterness just because those Mexican Vienna-style lagers have a pronounced maltiness in there to where those malts are definitely going to bring off more sweeter, kind of grainier kind of flavors. So, yeah, it smells pretty simple. Smells like a lager, smells like something a cheap beer that I would buy at the grocery store if I wanted to have 20 of them. But it smells like something would be nice for a nice warm day. Yeah, it smells solid. So, I'm going to be drinking this out of my Untapped 12-ouncer today. So let's pour this thing and see what it's all about. I'm expecting it to be pretty damn clear, which is exactly what I'm getting. Nice kind of lightish kind of brown to it. A little bit of like almost like a tan kind of color. A little bit of a head. Just a nice light head. But overall, yeah, a nice light beer for a Friday afternoon, I think so, especially when I'm getting in the car and driving. I thought this was the perfect beer to kind of get my thirst quenched before I go get a haircut. And I think this is going to hopefully hit the spot perfectly. So, yeah, definitely getting hints of why it would be a pale lager like it says on Untapped. Just because getting a little bit of hop characteristics. Definitely a little bit more of like more of like a straw kind of hay bitterness. But yeah, it's grainy, it's malty. Definitely getting those light, a little bit of a bitter kind of notes to it. But overall, yeah, smells pretty good. So, yeah, let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So, cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's light, it's sweet. Definitely there's a nice sweetness coming through. The grainy maltiness coming through I really do enjoy. Definitely reminds me of some of the lighter stuff that I would drink that when I just want to have a good amount of beers and not have to pay a lot of money, like when you can go to get a 24-pack of Old Style here in Chicago for $12. This is the kind of thing that reminds me of drinking that kind of style of beer due to it being like that kind of style lager where it's very, very light, has a good sweetness, definitely very, very crushable. And overall, yeah, the flavors are nice. They're definitely lighter on flavors, but overall, if you're looking for something that's just light, crisp, and refreshing, this is going to hit the spot perfectly. So overall, yeah, it's a pretty solid beer. Definitely for what style they're trying to come for, they absolutely nailed it. Yeah, it's delicious. I like it. I like it a lot. But definitely has those pale kind of lager characteristics. Definitely doesn't. This one has more of like those bitter notes coming through that you would expect. You're not going to get those flavors coming from like a Pabst Blue Ribbon or a Budweiser situation. This one definitely has those more bitter notes that are pretty damn enjoyable. So let's look over here on Untapped. Let's read the description of the guy and see what this thing's all about. What it says here is the Pachanga, which Pachanga is actually a style of a Mexican dance. It's kind of, I think they said it's similar to the merengue, which is interesting, so that's pretty cool how they named it that way. But the Pachanga is a Mexican-style lager with a crisp malt flavor and thirst-quenching character, perfect for hot days in the summer sun. Definitely agree with that one. And they have a couple different variants showing here of the Pachanga. They have a dry hop Pachanga, which is definitely going to be more of that heavier pale malt, like pale lager kind of situation. They have a grapefruit rattler Pachanga, which most likely added grapefruit and all that kind of stuff to it, so it maybe have a little bit more refreshing kind of note. A blackberry Pachanga, which I'm curious how that would be in a lager. They have a Pachanga with persimmons, which actually might kind of bring off characteristics of like maybe like a farmhouse ale almost. And then they have the one called the True Love Pina Colada Pachanga, which looks like it's more of like a milky kind of white situation. Of course, kind of maybe, I would say that might be in the realm of mixing a Pina Colada with that kind of pale lager kind of style. But overall, yeah, flavors are not bad in this one at all. Of course, for similar beers, they have a couple ones that people might recognize. You got the Pabst Blue Ribbon that they're showing as similar, which is a namesake for American non-craft beer. Then you got Budweiser showing here. But then you have a couple like other little craft stuff. So they have one from Afterburner Brewing Company called It's So European, which is a nice American style lager, 4.5%. We got another one from HUDL Brewing Company. I don't know if I'm saying that right, called Mosquito Bite, which is a Mexican style lager, kind of like a Mexican style cerveza style thing. But they actually put serrano peppers in there. That's actually really, really nice. So I'm kind of giving them a little bit of a heat to it. But yeah, I'd definitely put this in the same kind of category of maybe like a Budweiser or a Pabst, or similar to an old style. Definitely going to have a little bit more of a drier kind of, a little bit of like a hoppy bitterness to it. Definitely is going to be a little bit different when it comes to flavor and characteristics of that. But when it comes to mouthfeel, having that thin body, having those maltier flavors come through, it's going to be pretty identical to that kind of style of beer. So if you're into light beers and want to support a craft brewery instead of supporting the giant ones like Anheuser-Busch or all that kind of stuff like that, this would definitely be a solid alternative to kind of getting a craft variant of your normal cheap style of beer. And I think they did a pretty damn good job. So let's look back here on Untappd and let's see what the ratings of this guy are. So like I stated before, it's a 4.2% ABV, which 100% consider this sessionable, like 112% sessionable with this one. This is, I would say this is your normal kind of average when it comes to your like lighter, like lager kind of situation. So 4.2 is definitely a really good average for that kind of style of beer. 24 IBUs, which I'm definitely getting the bitterness, so I can definitely see that 24 IBU rating. And then with over 12,912 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.46 out of 5, which, yeah, for a style of beer like this, I don't want to say I wouldn't expect anything else, but it's kind of in that kind of area. But overall, it's still a nice, easy drinking beer. Definitely something I would consider putting something out there for, like a nice warm day. So definitely fits in that category. But I don't think I have many of my friends list who check this one in. Nope, nobody on my friends list. So let's look here on the global ratings and see what other people had to say about this guy. So let's see. This guy gave it a 4 out of 5, saying low key reminds me of a Blue Moon, which I would not agree with this guy one bit. It's a Blue Moon's a wheat beer. Definitely has a little bit more of those wheat flavors to it. Of course, it's going to really pair well with citrus. This definitely reminds me of more of your cheaper kind of style, like your Budweisers, your past Blue Ribbons, your old styles. So this would definitely put in that category before I even put it anywhere near tasting like a Blue Moon, for sure. This guy gave it a 4.75 out of 5. Must really enjoy it. This guy drank 2 of them in a row, gave him both 3 ratings on them. Let's see, we got a 2.5 out of 5. This guy purchased at Kroger. Looks like he's sitting by the pool drinking a nice Pachanga, which is nice. Let's see. We got a 3.25 here. We got a 4.75 purchased at Arnie's Restaurant, which is over in Greenwood, Indiana. Let's see what else we got here. We got 3.75 here purchased at the Global Brew and Tap House in O'Fallon, which is in O'Fallon, Illinois. Global Brew and Tap House is a pretty well-known kind of tap house kind of situation like this. This guy drank it at Sun King, probably at Concourse. If it's Concourse B, it's most likely the location at the airport in Indianapolis. So yeah, pretty average. I'm surprised I'm seeing a lot more like those 3.75 kind of ratings, more than just like your average 3. I've seen a pretty decent like 4.75, so at least 2 of them already. So people must really enjoy this one there. And we got a full 5 out of 5 purchased at the Boathouse, which is the Boathouse in Cicero, Indiana. Definitely call it the Boathouse Pub. So I wonder if it's someplace right on a lake right there. But overall, yeah, ratings are not bad at all. Last one we're going to look at here, they give it a 3.75, saying light ... tasty. Which yeah, it definitely, I would consider this one a nice tasty light lager. So overall, flavors in this one are pretty damn nice. Would definitely consider it in that kind of realm of being like in that similar style of a past Blue Ribbon or Budweiser, your Coors, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for a nice kind of alternative without needing to give those big kind of monopoly breweries within the U.S. a bunch of money, yeah, go support Sun King. They're making a pretty solid Mexican style lager over there that's pretty damn delicious. So with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on our end with this guy. So let's see. Of course, first thing we like to look at is can art, which, yeah, gonna be completely honest here, can art is very, very simple when it comes to this one. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Ale Smith from San Diego makes an Oktoberfest Marzahn lager. Sounds similar. Yeah, definitely more like those, like when you're coming to an Oktoberfest. I would say Oktoberfest are a little bit more heavier when it comes to the malt flavor. Of course, there's still going to be a little bitterness coming from those, but when it comes to like your Marzahn style lagers, yeah, there's definitely similar characteristics to this one. But yeah, when it comes to can art with this guy, yeah, it's nothing special, to be honest. They have a piñata, which I think is pretty cool. Having the piñata in there, nice and colorful, like the font they use for the Pachanga. Of course, it's just your normal kind of style of thing you would see from Sun King. I really like their logo. Sun King's logo is always really, really clean. And just overall, it's simple, but to be honest, it wouldn't be something that would catch my attention. It definitely kind of stays in that realm of something that you would see at your local grocery store kind of situation, but over like that, there's nothing really too spectacular about the can art. It's not really a label. It's definitely printed on the can itself. So if you wanted to say, if you couldn't save it, even if you wanted to, but overall, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not going to be something that I'd probably pick up a 4-pack to bring home, to be honest. But if I would have saw this at a liquor store or a bottle shop, I probably would have missed it, because it's not something that really reaches out to me. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5. Just leave it at that with there. But let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Sun King Brewery, let's just say if I was flying out of Indianapolis and I wanted to have a couple beers, and I maybe got a flight at Sun King with this one involved in there, would I get another one to have on its own? Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably pick something else, to be honest. I would like to see some of their other variety of stuff, maybe one of the variants of this style of beer. But like I said, it's fine. It's good for what it is. Of course, you guys know I like a little bit more complexity when it comes to my beers, but this one, it's safe, it's low ABV, it has a nice kind of your lighter kind of flavors to it. But overall, it's still pretty damn good for what it is. I would rather drink this than going to get a past Blue Ribbon or a Budweiser or a Coors kind of situation. It's definitely would go on the top of my list. It probably wouldn't outdo an Old Style because an Old Style for me is just nostalgia. And that's a beer I kind of grew up with when it comes to drinking underage like I did. But overall, yeah, it's good for what it is. So I probably wouldn't get one of this one specifically in like on its own in a flight. Probably get the variants like I said. But with that, let's try to figure out what my final rating on this guy is going to be. It's not going to be high. I'm just going to give you guys kind of like a heads up right now. It's not going to be a crazy high rating. It's definitely going to be in those like lower, maybe mid-tier kind of ratings, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10, to be honest. It's pretty solid. Like I said, I would choose this over getting a Pabst Blue Ribbon or a Coors Light or your average Budweiser any day of the week. I would choose this one out of those three, but I wouldn't choose it over an Old Style. I guess that kind of just shows you the Chicagoan in me and all that kind of stuff. But overall, yeah, it's still a pretty solid beer. So big shout outs to Sun King for coming out with another pretty damn solid one. There's nothing really that I have from Sun King that was like spectacular, I'll be completely honest. But overall, they made some pretty solid beers. So for being my last one and kind of giving my overall experience with Sun King, yeah, they're good. They're good, but definitely more of that mainstream kind of style. I would like to see more of their like different variants kind of be more available because there's a lot of craft beer drinkers out there that want to experiment with different variants and different styles of beer that from your normal kind of year-round average beers that Sun King kind of plays around with. So it's nice that they do variants, but I would like to have those variants out a little bit longer as my overall final experience with stuff from Sun King. Yeah, I think they're doing pretty good things over there, but I maybe want to see a little bit more experimentation, I guess you can say. They're doing some of it, but I want to see that stuff get around a lot more and not just be something that's only available at the brewery. So, let's see here. Other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live to another review. Of course, I'm going to have reviews coming this weekend. I know I have one tomorrow for you guys and Sunday. So keep an eye out for those. I'm not sure what's going on with like the next weeks or so just because we're going to be getting busy over at the brewery. You got to just kind of get ready for Fib Fest. So who knows? I might have maybe a couple during the week, but all next weekend I won't have any reviews for you guys. So just let you guys heads up there. Of course, if you want to follow me on all my social media platforms, you got my Instagram. You'll see hand checks of what I'm going to be reviewing that day. And of course, you'll see some of the shenanigans that I'm doing over the brewery when it comes to brewing. Maybe a little bit of little release dates for comes the new beers that we come out with. So if you want to get the inside scoop of all that, link to my Instagram is down in the description below. Also, if you want to shoot me a friend request on Untapped, you guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's a really fun platform. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. And they just have a bunch of things available on Untapped. So you could shoot me a friend request. My profile's down in the description below as well. But last but not least, if you want to help support me a little bit, of course, I do have a Patreon as well where I also do craft beer giveaways over there. I do Illinois exclusive 4-packs of craft beer that I give away to my patrons once a month. So I know I still have to ship out the one that I did for the previous month. Money's been a little bit of a weird situation right now, so Patreon would be greatly appreciated just to help get me a little bit more money in my pocket. Plus, there's a lot of stuff going on that I have to kind of get ready for. But yeah, Patreon is always available. Of course, the 4-pack option when it comes to getting a beer some beers that you can win. I pick out the 4-packs all myself, so if you want to get your hands on some stuff that you normally can't get your hands on from strictly Illinois breweries, Patreon's going to be the best way to do it. So the link to my Patreon is down in the description below if you want to join and help me out, support me that way. But other than that, that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm ending this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.